And good afternoon. I thought I would update everyone with the latest information that we have on Hurricane Laura as she makes her way sometime late this afternoon into the morning hours inland to our neighbors to the west of us in Louisiana. We'll go over how it's going to affect us, what to expect, and what it will do to our neighbors. First off, if you've got family members anywhere around Lake Charles from there to Beaumont, call them, tell them to leave. The way the National Weather Service and National Hurricane Center is wording this is unsurvivable storm surge. I'll show you on a map here in just a little bit. So if you've got friends, family, you care about them, tell them to leave. If they don't have a place to stay, go to a roadside park. Anything is better than staying in those areas where the storm surge is coming. Right now, it's a Category 3. By the time it makes landfall this afternoon, tonight will be a Category 4, and it will claim lives. And we still got a few hours to get people out if you've got friends, family. So make sure you make that phone call to them. You're the only hope in a lot of cases of talking someone out because they think this is just another storm. It'll be okay. This is not your typical storm. It is a very, very deadly one, and we want as many people to walk away from this and say, hey, I survived Laura. All right, let's talk about what it's going to do for the Meridian, East Mississippi, West Central Alabama area. As we look at radar, our graph from the National Weather Service, Jackson, Mississippi, for late tonight, the severe weather will be right there at the Jackson line. Back when you get to Vicksburg, it gets a little worse. The further that you go west into Louisiana, it will be very bad. But the Meridian area, Philadelphia, down to Laurel, Hattiesburg, on up through Macon, Mississippi, all these areas, Columbus, are going to be okay. We'll get some wind gusts of about 20 miles an hour through Saturday. So we're good on that. As we go to our next slide of what we've got, the flooding that will occur from this will be across the Mississippi River, Hamburg, Louisiana, down to Natchez there. We won't get any flooding on this. This starts tonight through tomorrow. It's going to be big when it comes in. The wind will pretty much stop at Brandon, Jackson, and back west. When you cross that state line into to Louisiana, Bastrop, that area, it gets increasingly worse. And the further that you go west, it will get bad. But the Meridian area, again, East Mississippi, West Central Alabama, over to Butler, Pennington, all going to be okay on this. As we go to our next slide, this is where the National Weather Service says, get out because you cannot survive. Unsurvivable. And I'm not sure that I've ever seen the National Weather Service use that language. Unsurvivable storm surge with large destructive waves that will cause catastrophic damage from Sea Rim State Park, Texas, to Intracostal City, Louisiana. Sabine Lakes, this area here, I was looking with somebody that was on a job there last night, describing where it is and telling them they need to go. Morgan City, Louisiana, all through there is going to be hurricane force winds. Again, let me repeat that word, unsurvivable. Contact your friends now. Let's look at what all this is going to be doing with the watches and warnings. Port Arthur area there, down to Galveston, hurricane warning, down through to Lafayette, this area up to Lufkin, Texas, and Alexandria. Shreveport is coming straight through here toward you. If you've got friends in Shreveport, they're gonna be in some bad tropical storm warning, wind watch. It's going to be bad in that area as well. Not as bad as Port Arthur, but bad. It's kind of like it was here. If you remember, no power, as that it was a 5 when Katrina came through. So expect that as it heads toward Shreveport. As we move through these, the next thing, the storm surge, and this is where they said it was going to be unsurvivable. You look at these areas here. This is 6 to 9 feet here by Galveston. When you get over here near Beaumont, this area jumps 10 to 15 feet. Here near Cameron, Louisiana, 15 to 20 feet. 8 to 12 over here, 4 to 7 feet here at Grand Isle. This is going to be 15 to 20 feet of water. No way to survive that. So again, if you've got friends, family in that area, contact them now. Still a few more hours to get out. As we look at the power outages that's going to be happening, it's going to be widespread from Lake Charles back to Houston over to Morgan City, these areas. The red is a likely, and most likely from Morgan City up to Little Rock to Memphis, in these areas are going to have power outages, most likely. So be ready for that. Rain amounts, that Lake Charles area up to Little Rock, Shreveport, covered in it. We'll get some light rain. The severe weather threat for tonight is going to be from Lake Charles to Lafayette to New Orleans to Shreveport. Just shy, taking in Natchez, Mississippi, and again, leaving out east central Mississippi, but getting the southwestern corner of Mississippi down in here. So if you've got friends and neighbors in there, tell them to make sure to watch the weather in southwestern Mississippi tonight. As we look at the bad weather for tomorrow from Lake Charles, the worst part will be from Alexandria, Shreveport to Little Rock tomorrow, and just about to Vicksburg tomorrow. There's going to be some rough weather in those areas. That's sort of where we are on that. All right, now let's pull up radar and take a look at this beast of what she's doing. She is a Category 3 right now. As we pull it up and we zoom in on this, we look at what we've got. Category 3, 127 miles an hour, gust of 155 miles an hour. Moving to the northwest at 16 miles an hour. That's a huge storm. It's gaining strength. As you'll see that eye, it's going to become a 4 right before she comes inland. We're expecting it to be wind speed of 144 miles an hour at a Category 4 with gust up to 173 miles an hour. Now, if you back out and you look at this, this will come in inland, be between Beaumont and Lake Charles, and go straight towards Shreveport. Let's zoom in and take a closer look at this and name some of the cities that you probably know. This is the path of it. Now, these areas here will also get bad weather on the outside of it, but not as bad as inside the shaded area. You look at this as it comes ashore. Orange, Texas, which is right, this is Vinton, Louisiana, and this is about where the Texas state line is, right there. It's going to cross by Orange. That's Sulphur. If you go through Lake Charles, Sulphur, where all those gas plants are on the right after you come out of Lake Charles, I know you've been through there before. It's going to be very bad through there. Back over to Beaumont. If you've got friends in Beaumont, tell them to be prepared. It will go up past Bonware, decreasing to a Category 1 as it reaches there at Newton, Louisiana. And it will keep going northward, Hemp Hill, and then make its way right on up to Shreveport, Louisiana. So they be prepared. Let me turn this back on. What we've got in that area there is a tropical storm warning for the Shreveport area. As you come down and you take a look below that, still the hurricane warnings and the flash flood watch there. And I've never been able to pronounce that word. I'm going to go out on a limb. Nacogdoches, maybe? Nacogdoches? Nacogdoches, I think maybe is it. I've never been able to say that good. But hurricane warning for there in Alexandria, Louisiana. It is going to be very bad tonight. Again, I stress, if you've got friends, family, contact them, get them to leave those areas. As you'll look at this as it passes, it will go up near Nashville, take in Murfreesboro, through Louisville, Kentucky, and then out to New York back to sea is what is planned on this thing. But tonight, we're focusing here. It's going to be very deadly, so watch that very closely. A big thank you to the folks that help us out with the weather each and every day. Hoopers, Rick Justice Automotive, Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, also the Lauderdale County Farm Supply, Freeman Tractor, good folks out there, EMEPA, Graphics Guru, SMI Automotive, San Marcos Mexican Restaurant, Sanders Gas, and Kim's Photography. Again, all local folks right here in the Meridian area as we watch Hurricane Laura as she makes her way to the U.S. Gulf Coast there in the Gulf of Mexico.